Yeah.
But anyways, I want a
Yeah, over
katana.
it.
I want a
I
sword.
want a katana. I want a sword.
I want a
What kind of
sword.
sword?
I would love a long sword or a katana.
Like a claymore?
What happened?
Like a claymore?
What is a claymore? I used to know long swords. It's just the big fast swords from the medieval times, and that's what they're called.
It's like claymores are like these big, like English swords that it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like a long sword, the dual edge, and they're kind of big, kind of used to like cut people in half and stuff. They're like I think Jon Snow's sword is a claymore, or it's shaped kind of like a claymore. I think.
Isn't that one kind of short? Because long are the claymores short?
No, claymores are pretty big, pretty sure.
Shit.
But I'm not a medieval uh
I mean, I just think they look beautiful.
extraordinaire.
I think they just look beautiful on a wall. Katana. I think that a katana, I believe, is elegant. There's something about it. It looks really elegant. It's kind of small, simple, simplistic, but it can kill you. I think it's
Back up from
beautiful.
the mic. Back up from the mic just a little bit. You're a little loud.
Oh, man, I
Thank
just
you.
want people to hear me. Whatever. But yeah, I think some certain swords are elegant, and that's why I like them a lot.
Certain sir, like katana.
Katana, I think, is elegant. It's
I
simplistic
think the long sword. I think the long sword is called like a long katana is called a Nadichi or something like that.
because there are different versions of a katana. Let me look it up. Katana.
Yeah, and this is a short one and there's a long one. Oh, the short one is a regular size one and there's a long katana. I'm pretty sure the long one is called a Nadichi or the short one is called a Nadichi. I don't really remember.
There's one like you can stab people with. Oh, here it is. I'll show you right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, okay, so we
Let's
have
see.
Evakatan.
Owazashi, a katana, Okatana, Otanto,
So she then you mentioned Wakasachi.
Wakashi,
No, I kind of want an Okatana that I'm looking at. I want the big one.
Wakazashi.
I want
There's a longer one than that though. There's a longer one.
the Okatana.
No,
Oh, the hand.
just look up long. Just look up long katana.
They're different.
Or just look up Nadachi. Nadichi, something like that.
Which you said? Nadachi.
Just pit. Yeah, Nadachi. Nad Nada Ashi. Nadachi.
Uh,
I'm not sure if I think it's like that.
I
Yeah.
mean, Google will correct us. I'm gonna put Katana.
No, that's definitely the wrong one.
Nodachi, I believe it is.
Nodachi. There you go.
Nodachi. It's kind of short. This thing is not loading, so F us, I guess. You know, this is one of the reasons I'm.
I think that's it right there. Look at the old man. Go up.
The old man. This one.
Go up a little bit. There's the old man. You see the old man with the
This one.
sword? Yeah.
God damn, that's a. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I just want something nice that I could put on my wall.
That's nice to put on the wall. But it takes up an entire living room.
Maybe two of those make it look sexy. This is one of the things I hate about. I don't know if you know this, but certain bodybuilding shows they give swords away. I don't know how real they are, but
I mean, it's made out of metal and cut sharper enough. It can cut any. They can cut people. I'm pretty sure they're real enough.
Yeah, I want one of those. I want one of those so
All right.
bad.
Welcome to Lidat. We just went on a big rant about katanas and swords and whatnot because he wants a katana. I'm gonna get a gun. We're gonna have a fight. We're gonna see who's gonna win. You place your bets where you want to place those bets.
I guess use an arrow.
Welcome. An arrow? Sure,
Yeah.
Go ahead. Use your arrow.
Crossbow? Nah, fuck that. You know what? Give me a crossbow and a katana, and I think I can get you. In the woods.
Crossbow and the katana. In the woods.
In the woods.
What do I have?
You have a Glock.
Glock.
Yeah, you cannot have a P90. What the fuck's wrong with you?
I'll take that. I'll take a Glock. But I can put any attachments on my Glock, right?
I mean, sure. Assalamu alaikum. I mean, do your thing.
Yeah, I got that. That's easy.
But you cannot put a semi-automatic. Wait, no, you cannot put it automatic. It cannot be automatic.
No, I don't have to be automatic. I fucking make that shit into an AR. Just put all the attachments, aim it down.
I'm gonna be hiding on the ground or in the grass like this, camouflage on top. Badass.
That podcast. We are podcasting. Holy shit! I don't understand where we got consistent listeners. But welcome to Lidat. If you're listening to this on YouTube, please subscribe, please like, show us some love. We have other podcasts I think that you should check out. 2 hour long podcasts with friends. We have individual podcasts with just me and him. I am starting to do new series called Lidat News. So if you want bite-sized information that you don't need 2 hours to break down, that's where you should go. I should be recording one tonight, in fact. Today I am always joined by the magnificent accent himself, Jose Guerrero. Jose, how the fuck are you?
But Katana. I forgot. I was going to tell you something specific. I completely forgot. Oh, that 2 hour podcast. I thought it was hilarious. I was watching it and I'm like, yeah, these motherfuckers are funny. He was cracking me up, especially when Javon. He's hilarious.
Our podcast?
Yeah, because it's that word that he uses when he was talking about the Gen Zs, the millennials. He was like, "Have you seen the Gen Zs? They're retarded." I'm like,
yeah.
Oh man, bro, he killed me. I remember I was dying, bro.
It's pretty funny.
They completely
killed
me.
You can see why he's a buddy of mine.
Yeah, he completely killed me. So
I mean, one day when I'm back in New York, if I ever go back to New York before you come over to Texas, we should probably do a podcast in person.
Yeah, we could. I mean, I gotta preferably on a Sunday because on Sundays there's nobody here.
Yeah, on a Sunday we'll probably use your living room instead of your room.
Yeah,
get a setup over there and everything, and just like basically the first podcast all over again with different guests.
We could actually use my desk if we can get it to the door. I don't know. I mean, that's a lot. We get there when we get there.
Yeah. But today we are going to be talking about a new topic.
New topics, just you take all the good topics and you put them in your newsroom, whatever.
Yeah, but I feel like the news. I don't really I don't dive deep into whatever's going on. I kind of get the news and my takes on it, and then bada boom, bada bing, bada bing. My news stuff is about 5-10 minutes max. That's kind of how I want it. But the topic that we are going to be talking about today, before we get sidetracked even more than usual, which we get sidetracked a lot usually, we're talking about what's the phrasing I use?
Clones.
No, we're not talking about clones.
No,
we're talking about the lessons you learn while pursuing. And I guess to break that down, first, you have to decide what you're pursuing first, and then lessons you learn on the way to your pursuit, to your goal. But I think pursuing is best because sometimes you never reach your goal, but you learn a lot trying to get there. Right. And I think the best way to open this up is I kind of wanted to open this up with asking you, Jose, some questions about some of the pursuits. Look, thumbs up again for me. Some of the pursuits that I've seen you undergo, especially through the years, teenager to an adult, kind of, sort of. You have chin hair at least, but for example, let's start with the first pursuit or the first obsession I can remember you having besides Witcher and Star Wars. I would say the first pursuit or obsession I witnessed you have was.
Let's see.
Definitely not. you just get into that. What's it called? Photography. I guess the first question is, what made you get into photography initially?
I don't know the actual reason why. I want to say that I think I know, but I don't want to say the actual reason. So I'm just going to tell you the reason that I tell myself.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. Basically, where the whole thing started, it was when I was going through a breakup. And through that breakup, I ended up going to the park lot just to walk, and I kind of made my mind of things. And as I was walking, I just kind of started to get an epiphany that I realized that 2 years before this, I didn't feel the way I felt. That feeling went away. And probably 2 years forward, I'm not gonna feel the same way. But this picture is gonna take me back to that moment when I had it. I was using my phone to take pictures. It was just because it was during the fall, and there was a train tracks around my name in my park. So I was just taking pictures. It seemed interesting. I edited them a little bit, and I realized that although I didn't feel the same way when I was looking at that picture, it just reminded me of how I used to feel and how much I've grown.
So you use photos to solidify a moment for you.
Yeah,
It's like a touchstone of memory, I guess.
exactly. It kind of like
that's interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah, kind of like just screenshot of the time or whatever. I mean, you said it perfectly. It was basically like that. And even to this day, I always look back at pictures that I've taken. I'm like, oh, right. I remember what I was going through. Man, what the fuck was I feeling like that? And then I rationalize stuff. And it's kind of like taking a picture of the moment and taking it with me. And kind of remember.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I mean, if you wanted to pull up your Instagram right now, you could probably show up some of the photos you actually took. Because last time I remember, I was also speaking about it with Veronica, my girlfriend, and your pictures were getting progressively better and better and better. We started to notice a style you had in your edits, and we talked about what if you continued it, what if that stayed as passion, what kind of decisions would you have made in terms of for photography? Click at a couple of them. Let's look at a couple of them just to see exactly.
This one was
let's start with an old picture. Let's start with an old picture. Let's start off when you first started.
Oh, this one. Oh, we have stories about this one. This picture, I edit this bitch to shit. Edited to shit. It was nothing like that. See, this is why I love this. One of the reasons I love photography. I remember exactly how I felt. I remember the weather. It was around December, late December. It was getting kind of chilly, and I went out to take pictures, and it was getting dark. And one of the things that I realized quickly was that my camera was not good during the dark because there's something called Jesus Christ, FPS. Completely forgot. Basically, my camera does best at night. And if you want to get better photos at night with your equipment, you need to get better equipment at that time. So this picture was extremely dark.
Wait. Hold on a second. Because you said it was not good at night.
It was not.
But then you also said it did better good at night.
No, it did better. Oh, my fault. It did better in the morning because there's a reason why that lens does bad at night. I forgot what was the reason. And
the FPS is frames per second, but I don't think that makes sense.
No, it's not that. It's like it's something else.
So the aperture, like that, aperture.
Yes, there you go. The aperture. The aperture was like a 4.5, and that's pretty mediocre. That's pretty bad. That's for like bad lenses. That was my starter kit. Then the aperture that I got now is 2.8, which is excellent for when it's getting darker. It's more useful. Essentially, you can get more light out of your lens.
That's not bad for a first photo. That's not bad for a first photo. I mean, I've seen a lot of would-be photographers, especially in New York City, that I want to say think their photos are very good, and then
this is the day. This is not someone took this picture of me, but this was when it happened. That was the day of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're both edited to shit. They're a lot smoother. I don't know if you can tell, but they're really smooth.
Yeah.
The brightness was definitely turned really high because I had to, and the colors are overly saturated. Especially
I think I have photos that you took of me. I'll probably find them. But continue explaining your stuff. I'll send it to you on Instagram. So if anything you want to show those pictures off.
So this was my first picture, and I had a lot of fun editing it because I basically brought the picture back to life. And then I believe 2 weeks after.
Did you desaturate the photo? Is what you're saying?
No, I oversaturated them. I oversaturated
initially.
The colors. Yeah.
Initially, but you brought it back to life. Is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I got the color. I got the brightness up a little bit. That's why if you see the background is completely white, there's no detail in the background. And I think maybe a month, 2 months after, I decided to go back to the vessel, and I took a lot clearer pictures, as you can tell here. I definitely played with the red because I wanted to be unique with it. I want to have a unique style. See, this is a picture taken at night. So you see how now instead of just being
that's really good.
White,
that red That red really pops.
Yeah, and instead of being completely white in the back, now it has some color to it. You know, kind of gave it their own little unique style because it was so messed up like that.
Yeah. I think we're saying like 2 more photos of pictures we took together or pictures you took of me to kind of give people an idea of how you was working
Are
at
they on
that
your
time.
Instagram?
No, it's still photos. It's photos I have on my. I sent them to you through Instagram, so you can have direct access to it on your DMs. But these are photos I just have on my phone from whenever we did a photo shoot. Right here. See, that's a photo you took. Do you remember that? Do you remember taking that picture?
Yeah, it was with your camera. It was with Sony.
Was it with the Sony?
Yeah, it was with the Sony. Remember that was the day we picked up my camera, and my camera was in the box. And
yeah, we went with your brother and his girlfriend. Yes.
Yes, so they met us
to his brother
there,
and his girlfriend. Yeah.
and that was the day I picked up the camera. That's the day. Actually, I even remember. I remember you being like, "So you just want to go home to just play with your toy, don't you?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah," because I wanted to go. I just wanted to open my box, and you were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
fine, you don't want to hang out with me." And I was like, "No, you can come," and you ended up coming with me.
I think that's when I just moved back to New York, though. That's why, right? I just moved back to New York from Dallas.
Believe so.
Look at the second photo. I'll send you another one.
Yeah, this was during
Christmas. that was that Christmas of that year that we took that initial picture.
I don't know if
and this was it, and this is with your camera.
Sure.
I'm sure that's with your camera.
Yeah, I think it was with my camera. I know you brought your camera and you were with your boys too.
Oh, I know. I brought my brother. Yeah, but definitely that's your picture. Let's see one more. Let's see when you. That's a fire picture.
I was going for like a movie style type of scenario.
Yeah,
like
I get like a dramatic movie scene.
I was going for. I mean, you don't know the Sopranos, but I was going for like a Sopranos mob kind of style, kind of dark New York type of shit. It was this, yeah. Looking back at it, this is a picture with a fucking goat. I have to show it.
What's your favorite photo you have? Do you think you posted?
I don't know, man. To be honest, I hate them all.
You hate them all now?
Oh, I always hate them all. That's kind of one of my biggest flaws in life. To tell the truth, is commitment. It's committing and
commitment.
Doubt. I struggle with doubt a lot. Man, but if I have to pick, I have to just shoot.
Well, I'll tell you what my favorite picture is.
This one. I believe serendipitous is kind of like a lucky coincidence. That's what
serendipity. Yeah,
that's what it means. This was during 9/11. Me and my brother went out to take pictures, and if you see this little streak over here,
yes,
that was completely luck. I didn't know what the heck was up there. Me and my brother tried to take multiple pictures in that direction, looking for what the heck that was, but we never found out what that was.
Those fire pictures. Yeah. That's fire.
Yeah, definitely.
I think one of the coolest photos you have is one of the last pictures you actually posted. I'm pretty sure it's you laying on top of the glass, overlooking the city. Yeah, I think that one's pretty fire. I thought that one was pretty cool. I thought no. So that one's cool too. But the one where you're laying down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that was pretty cool.
I think that's some of that one.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And unfortunately, you don't take pictures as much as you do. But I guess here's my question that goes with the theme of the podcast we're having right now. From that first photo, your favorite photo that you just pointed out, what do you think you learned in your pursuit of photography?
I definitely learned that it takes time. That's for one. I definitely, you know what? One of the things that I definitely learned, and this is something that me and my brother talked about all the time, was stop comparing ourselves to guys like Peter McKinnon. And you guys can look at my brand, I'll show him, but stop comparing ourselves to.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's badass.
Yeah, like don't compare ourselves to guys that are in their chapter 300 to like our chapter 1, literally my chapter 1. Because
Yeah.
I was looking, I wanted to take pictures like them, but I struggled a lot, and I thought it was my equipment a lot of the times.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that it's not the equipment, but it's the photographer. It's the creativity that comes with it that allows you to take your art and show something out of it.
Yeah.
For a long time, I thought it was my equipment. Not a long time. At the beginning, I thought it was my equipment. My brother told me that it's not your equipment. It's your creativity. And it's about angles, about figuring it out. It's the thing about me. I wanted to figure it out already. I wanted to be at Peter McKinnon chapter 500 already when I was just starting, which was unrealistic expectations that definitely hurt you at the end. Because you start
You know
feeling
what?
like
You know what I think about? You know what I think about photography or photography and paintings. Photography and paintings try to reach, and this is a point Jordan Peterson makes, and I agree with it. But he goes with just drawings, right? But I'll go paintings. I'll go paintings and pictures, photos, if you will. Photos and painting seems to want to capture the same thing that music captures. And what music captures a lot of the time is something akin to a religious feel, where you feel an emotion the moment you see it. And that's why art tries to mimic music. It's because when you see art, the art is trying to capture the same thing, the same feeling that music enables. But music can enable it whenever it wants. Like you have access to music when you want it at all times, and you can listen to the same song every day for a full year. But every time you play that song, the feeling of whatever you need to feel still appears. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Jordan Peterson and I also that agree with this. Seems that art, paintings, photos. I think photos is a little bit more nostalgia. Like we look at photos in the past tense after the photo is taken, and initially you look at it like, wow, this shit is crazy. But then after time passes with the photo, you look at it like, wow, I remember where I was when I saw that. It's like a movie.
Yeah.
I remember where I was, what I was doing in life when that moment happened to me, and how I felt. Wow. And you want that shot of nostalgia again. It's like a shot of dopamine.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to what you get with music. When you listen to music, you get that shot of dopamine. It's like, whoa, man, I like feeling this way all the time. And I guess that's why movie critics, or not movie critics, movie directors and studios try to throw a lot of nostalgia within movies. So you can get that shot of dopamine. Works for Spider-Man.
It's even to yeah, especially after the last one, bro. I fucking cried.
Yeah.
Especially because something with pictures, right? Is even in a way to keep people close to you, because I get to capture. It's kind of like capturing them being there with me and how I felt when I was with them when I was, it's taking. It's kind of like why some people like Polaroids. They have like this vintage old vibe, and it really captures the moment. Something about Polaroids that honestly I didn't understand until someone took a picture with a Polaroid, and I was like, that's completely. I have a different feeling to a Polaroid than a regular picture.
Yeah, we when I went to Austin for my girlfriend's birthday. We went to one of her best friend's dorms, and in their dorm or apartment, excuse me. When we went to their apartment, all they had was Polaroid pictures of anyone that's ever stepped inside their apartment and the parties they had. There's like has to at least be like 70 photos there at least, and it's cool because she points to them and she goes, "Oh, this person is such and such, and this day she threw up all over the walls." Like it kind of, and then she can kind of just whiff and tell stories and whatnot, and everyone's fully engaged because once you see the photo and you hear the story behind the photo, you kind of it's almost as if you're watching a picture book. Yeah, it's almost as if you're watching a picture book. Yeah, you can see how it happened. You can see how the person threw up on the walls, I guess, so to say.
Yeah, it's like you're watching. It's like it's what that thing that does with books that try to give you that imagination. You will probably know what it is, that term. But you know what I'm referring to.
Yes, when I look at books, I see a movie inside my head.
Yeah, so kind of picture gives me that vibe too, and also kind of being closer to people. Because
visualize, come on, visualize.
Like visualize and stuff. Same thing with I mean, part and parcel the reason why I got into photography was because something that I knew was really into them. So every single time I take a picture, it's kind of like I'm bringing that person with me. like that
Yeah, and
person is there taking a picture. So it was pretty cool.
yeah, man, you was getting better and better and better. I think one of the initial reasons why you didn't want to move to Texas is because you wanted to pursue a photography career. Remember that?
I thought there was nothing in Texas to take pictures of.
And actually, it turns out there's actually more things over here in Texas to get bigger in terms of social media right now. I think there's nothing really going on there's nothing really going on in New York, but over here in Texas, also for an example, I don't want to keep saying her name. I don't want to keep saying my girlfriend, but my girlfriend often gets paid to do events and sing at events and regularly, and it could have easily become a package deal where, at least since I've been here, at least minimum than like 25, maybe 50 shows or whatnot for events, where it's like, well, you could have been a photographer and it could have been a package deal where you guys both could have banked easy money. And then we have access to instruments and whatnot here. So songs, you could have helped promote what she was doing. She could have helped promote what you was doing. It would have been a really good, I think, business venture for both of you guys. Unfortunately, passions change, but
the passion is still there. It's not that it's there. It's just there's another passion competing with it.
And you feel like you don't have time for both. You feel like you don't have time for both passions.
I can unite them both. It's just it's one of them takes time to get a handle of it because it's all consuming close to it. It is. As I get deeper and deeper, and I understand what they're talking about when they say it's all consuming, and it's difficult to find a balance. They're still there, still enjoy it. I still go out and take pictures. I just don't post them because there's also that doubt that's in my mind. Like it's not as good as I think it is. That's why I always have the whole do it, don't think. Just do it, don't think. It helps me just post them and you kind of like just walk away. So
hold on a second.
Beat her ass.
Yeah, right. At least say hi to the podcast, interrupting this shit and whatnot. Open the day. She's a Highland dad. But yeah, let's talk about the other thing that you were that you were pursuing. We'll talk about it. We can both wing off of this.
One you, one me. Let's go.
So ask me a fucking question then.
Okay, tell me your passion. You told me about gaming. Gaming is one of your things you always talk about.
Well, yeah, I've been playing. I'll give you an example, but yeah, gaming is definitely something that I've pursued, and it's crazy because I never pursued it for a financial reason. I think that I could have done something financially with it had I been consistent with it when I was younger. Yes, I think I told the story before that my stepfather, me and my stepfather went to a tournament. It might have been 12, 13 years old. This is when the Wii first came out. Yeah, I was like 12, 13 years old when the Wii first came out, and we went to a Smash Brothers tournament for a brawl, and I carried him all the way to the finals. When I mean carried him, I mean you ever play Smash Brothers?
Yeah, like that thing was on like that box. It was a box a long time ago.
The 64?
I think it was a cube.
No, GameCube.
Yeah, it's like that one.
So you have an idea of how that game works, right? Yeah. Okay, so obviously it's 2v2 is a father-son tournament.
Okay.
And apparently the fathers and sons who were facing practice together regularly, right? And to give you guys an idea of how, for GameCube, for example, on Melee, there were days where I would have my cousins over, Calvin and Isaiah, and it would be I believe it was me and Isaiah and I on teams versus Calvin and my stepfather, right? Isaiah and I are about the same age, and Calvin was older than we were, so obviously he was thinking more when he came playing the game, and my stepfather, obviously much older than I am, was thinking when we played the game, right? But we would play. Sometimes it'd be 6 p.m., right? And then we would play. We'd go, okay, one more game. Okay, one more game. Okay, one more game. And that was the first game I broke night on. That was the first game I ever broke night on. And the next thing I knew, I never ate dinner or whatever. But I remember I had this one pursuit I had because for some reason I could not beat them. And it was probably one of my first times I actually ever playing the game Melee. That's when Melee was out for the GameCube. And I could not beat them for the life of me. I couldn't beat them for the life of me into the last game. The last game, I beat them. Not only did I beat them in a really good fashion. I beat them. Isaiah got knocked out early, and it was both my stepfather and Calvin faced me at the same time, and I killed both. I knocked them both out for us to get our first victory of the night. From that moment on, right there, is what made me really into gaming, and it really was just the pursuit of getting better at the game and understanding what made you worse at the game in the first place, right? So back to the tournament story. So after that Melee game, Melee, I was probably like 6'7", 8. Someone within those 3-year ranges, and my stepfather must have been in his 30s, 40s, and Calvin must be in his teens. So you can imagine their IQ was fucking, or their understanding of the game was much higher. But that kind of competition at 6'7", 8, once I overlapped them and how to play a video game, that was it. There was no touching me after that point against them. And so I whooped their asses. We went to a father son tournament when I was 13, and I carried my father way to the finals in Raw, and we lost the last match. But amazingly, my stepfather didn't get a single kill the entire tournament. When we went over to the finals, the entire tournament, he was like, I was hard carrying, backpack on, jump on in, step pops, carried him all the way to the finals. And we lost the finals because it went to a sudden death. And I got knocked out first. Yeah, it went to a sudden death. I got knocked out first, and there was basically no help for him. So that's kind of how we lost. But that, and after that, I kind of just stopped pursuing it. Not stop pursuing. I stopped pursuing tournaments in general, and I wish I would have kept up with tournaments because I was pretty good at a young age at gaming. And then Call of Duty came out. And Black Ops 2, and I was better than all of my friends, but I wasn't that good. I was better than all of my friends, but I wasn't that good. And what I mean by not that good is that I was good enough to compete, but I wasn't good enough to dominate, right? And I picked up a couple friends, a couple buddies. I have even friends that's to this day, and that's 2012. So I was 2012. I was 16, 15, 16, something around there, and yeah. And I competed through that. I played some comp, and then Advanced Warfare, played comp. But Advanced Warfare, it kind of changed my mindset of how to look at competition, I believe, because at the same time, I was also swimming. I was competing in swimming. And when I started competing in swimming, I took it extremely serious. And I think I always had a chip on my shoulder for swimming because I felt like I never got the credit I deserved when I was swimming. And after 3 days of practice, I think we had a team size of about like 10 players my sophomore year in high school. After we had about a team size of 10, and I was fresh to swimming, after my third day of practice, I was the third fastest swimmer on the team. That's because I looked up everything there was to swimming, how breathing techniques, kicks per like down the lap, coming back, basically anything I could do to try to get an edge up. And my coach at the time, Mr. Ramirez, would not let me touch the water at all. For 3 days straight, he did not let me touch the water. Well, I'm lying. On the third day, he let me touch the water. But he let me touch the water just to practice kicking and stroking. Pause. He would hold my legs. I would just practice doing this and getting the timings right for that, to bring my head up. And he practice kicks, like how strong my kicks were, quick my kicks were, strong. And then like the butterfly, makes anything. But by the third day, what I mean focused on the movement of my body, and like a spatial awareness on how much more strength you had per kick if you actually want to have the strength within the kick. Like, okay, how can I say it? If on average it took you, let's go for a good number, a decent number that most people on the team could do. If it took you 8 strokes from one end of the pool to get to the other end of the pool, right? On average, but people trying their hardest, right? When that happened with me, what I thought about in my head when I did the first 8 strokes, I thought, okay, what's holding me back from doing 7 strokes instead? Oh shit, that's not a good sign. Whoa. I said, what's holding me back from doing like 7 strokes instead, right? And what's holding me back from doing 7 strokes instead? And then, okay, what's holding me back from doing 6 strokes instead? Okay, so if you're telling me if I was to put more strength in a leg during a turn, if I was to put an extra kick, oh shit, baby.
Goddamn Mexicans, bro. This is why I no longer like your kind, bro.
Goddamn Mexicans.
I date Italian now.
But yeah, I'm ranting. I'm going for a long time.
No. So I have a question. To this day, you still game, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and one of the things that I definitely noticed is that as you get older, a lot of people just stop playing games, especially a lot of my guy friends. My brother was into gaming, not my big brother, my older brother. Then he stopped. Me, I was really into gaming, then I stopped. Why do you continue?
I continue because I believe that once I understand the game, I'll stop. I think once I understand it to the point where there's nothing else for me to learn about the game, then I'll probably stop. And
you think it's just that? You don't think you have like a? I mean, you have a really good, amazing memory with your stepfather, right? Determined. Do you think it's maybe you have a little bit of nostalgia with games? Or is there a way to?
That's probably what it is. Yeah, I see where you're going.
Is it because it helps you just relax? I mean, you're pretty busy all the time. Is it just a time where it's my time? I'm not gonna worry about anything. I'm gonna have a good time, and you know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? It can't be just that simple. You just want to master a game. After you master it, maybe you do another one. So what is it? You know?
I don't know. Especially it's COD right now. COD has been my obsession ever since I stopped Smash, right? Yeah. And I think I just have an ultra competitive spirit, and I've brought that down a lot because I used to be too competitive in high school. I think that's why no one gets my credit because, I mean, we had some fans show up, but I got a lot of support swimming, and I don't know if that harbored any ill will towards me when I was swimming, and it put a chip on my shoulder. At that moment, that's what put a chip on my shoulder. And when I noticed that I wasn't getting enough credit for whatever I did, everything I pursued, I just pursued to be the best, right? Even now, my friends, when I talk about Call of Duty with them, or Smash with them, or whatever with them, like my friend James yells at me. Well, he yelled at me recently because of my critiques of him and the way he plays, right? But then I also give him examples of, well, in this scenario right here, had you done this scenario right here, I'm playing differently because of the way you're playing.
Adapting.
Huh?
You're adapting.
I have to adapt, and I'm making my life a lot harder to play because you're not playing the way you need to play to win the game. And he hates it. He hates when I start critiquing him on that, for example, right? In Smash with my friends that we did the podcast with, I think every time we see each other, we play until we hit 10, right? Whoever win 10 matches takes it off, right? And unfortunately, I've lost both. I've lost both times we've done it. But amazingly, I've never lost. I've only lost, I think, in 20 rounds. In 20 rounds of 3-player Smash, of like, I guess, a party Smash, I've only lost about 3 1-on-1s. So basically, whenever I made it to the end, I could just focus on one person. I virtually never lost in 20 games. right? But that's because you're playing with 3 people. There's so much randomness. Is just it's hard to compute sometimes. And some people they won't admit it, but sometimes when you're playing Smash and they see you as a threat, they're gonna gang up on you. Yeah,
But you enjoy that. I'm guessing
I do enjoy that. And I do enjoy that because I've done a 2-on-2 with me and my little brother who does not play Smash against those 2 guys. My brother got knocked out, and it was me versus them 2, and I whooped their fucking ass. And you know what I did when I whooped that? I got up and was like, ah!
I know you enjoy that feeling.
It's like an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, bro, I'm that fucking man. Get the fuck off me, bro.
Yeah.
You cannot fuck with me.
It's like when you're going off on COD. You know, like you ever going to those streets where you're like playing like 60 people and like they're all trying to just jump on you. They're like, okay, this guy is around this area. Let's just get him. And you kind of get confident as fuck, right? Yeah. So like, you can't take me now.
Yo, you can't take me. You can't. I'm not missing. Basically, I'm not missing this. I've done it in basketball. I've done I've had like streaks like that in the basketball as well, where in the gym, I don't know what it is. Like I'm just winning like 3 games in a row, and it doesn't matter what I decide to do. Everything's going in.
So let me ask you this: if take away the competitive side of gaming, do you enjoy story games?
I do enjoy story games.
Is there a specific story game that you go for?
I believe my favorite.
Actually, my favorite. This is a 2-part question. The second question is: does it give you the same level of satisfaction as competitive games? And that's the second question.
Well, it's a different kind of satisfaction. When I play story games, it's almost as if the neurons in my brain transfers from competitiveness to art, right? It's like it ignites a competitive, not a competitive streak, an artistic streak within me. And I feel like there's different kind of artists, right? I try to paint pictures with words. I'm not good at putting pen to paper and drawing something for you. I'm not very good at that. I'm not very good at I'm not very good at visual art. I'm not good at it at all. I've had good moments with it, but I have to be hyper focused, and it takes me about 3 days to finish something. But verbally, I've always felt like I've been better verbally in explaining something, and the complexities of it better than I am putting it down on paper. So when I play story games, for example, Hearts, or because that's probably one of my favorite video games of all time, or when I play a Final Fantasy game, or I play any campaign, I play a Halo campaign or whatnot, I take the themes out of the games. Like, of course, when I'm smash people with a keyblade, or I'm shooting people, I'm shooting aliens, that brings me that brings me some joy. Like, oh, I finally got past this hurdle that was giving me an issue for such a long time. So it does scratch the itch of competitiveness at least a little bit. And when you get past those hurdles, like, damn, I'm the fucking guy. But I almost never look at a game and remember the hard part of the game. I remember like a video game or a story of a video game. I always remember the theme of a game. I'll give an example, like with Kingdom Hearts. I would say the theme of Kingdom Hearts is that even though memory fades, the impact someone has in your heart and the way you live, i.e. lesson that I brought up on the 2-hour podcast, won't go away no matter what. And they use fantastical kind of systems and, very lullaby kind of Disney-esque BS. But the theme of it let's bring it to a real life and why a thing like that is important. If, God forbid, you would pass away, and let's say I just stopped thinking about you, and years after your passing, right? Something that I might never lose is the way you look at pictures. I'll start to look at pictures like almost organically, or like I'll start to look at pictures, not even knowing that I'm looking at pictures the way you used to look at pictures. Is that the impact you had on my life, no matter what, is going to exist whether I think of you or not. You know what I mean? Okay. And that's a theme that's within that story, and that's something I take with me after witnessing the story of the game. Does it make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No. I'm not that. I'm thinking of like what impacts as people have on me that I just haven't noticed.
Oh, you probably definitely have like I'm sure your idea of your idea to do and not think comes from somewhere else.
That probably comes from.
It probably comes from somewhere else, and you just don't know where it comes from. But it's something that's so ingrained inside of you now, you cannot do it.
It was more like a Peter McKinnon thing because he used to say something similar to it, and I just felt like I just made it simpler. And then it was because I tend to overthink things, and that hinders me. I don't get things done because I overthink them or I try to make them perfect, and I realize that it doesn't work with me. Either you do them or either I do them or it's never gonna get done. So that's my thing. So that's my thing. But yes.
I guess to wrap up the thing I was talking about earlier, because I was talking about gaming and whatnot, and I didn't really answer the main theme of the podcast we're having right now. The main thing I've learned while pursuing is learning more of who I am. I've learned more of who I am, and I've learned more about who other people are while pursuing. I've learned that the struggles that I go through while pursuing, the stress, the accolades, the non-praise, the praise, the loss of friends, the gains of friends, and all that stuff. If anything, that showed me and taught me more of who I am than anything else, than just living. It's like once you have a mind, like once you have a goal in mind, right? And you see that goal, it's the beacon at the end of it's the beacon at the end. It's almost like there's pathways to go to that goal, right? There's roads of light. They go straight. Some of them curve or whatever. And all those beams of light that go to the light source you're trying to go to. Excuse me for my stuttering. All those beams of light that are going to the light source that you are trying to go to are other people. They are going to enter your path at some point or another, and they're going to impact you in a way that you might not even realize they impact you, or they might not impact you at all, and they were a waste of your time in the first place. You know, I have countless friends that I just do not talk to anymore. I have a friend I have never talked to since high school that supports this podcast more than friends that I've known for fucking forever that don't support the podcast at all. Virtually not zilch, zero, nada. Right? And it's like, well, what did I do? Or maybe what did I say that makes him want to look at the podcast that we're doing now? Right? What impact did I have on him? And what impact would he have on me in the future while I'm doing the podcast? What does this support do for me in the long run? What does it change about me in the long run? And but the most important thing, that support helps you reach that goal at the end of life.
I would think that his support is in some ways more valuable than I guess someone that I know.
Yeah, it is. It is more valuable.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to say it's more valuable. It's a value. It's a value that's different.
Because that's what I think. In some ways, I think it's more valuable.
It's like a value. His value that he brings to the pod by just commenting on the pod is genuine. Because though he knows me, he hasn't known me in years.
Yes.
He hasn't known me in years, and he's willing to take time out of his day to see what I'm doing now, and that's valuable.
Yeah, right. Because with friends, I mean, friends will support you. So I mean, some friends, of course, will support you, but you know they're supporting you maybe because of you, not because of they like the content. They're like, well, it's Sam, I'm just gonna give him a hand. But with him, it's more like I genuinely enjoy the content, and I know this guy. Right, it comes first.
Yeah.
Do you think that you have learned something along the lines of like you can't have it all? Have you tried to have it all?
Ooh, yeah, I've definitely learned I can't have it all. Yeah. I've got burned. I've got burned trying to have it all.
Yeah, I realized I've been realizing for the past year or so that I really can't have it all, and I gotta stop trying.
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean by that? Like, if you want to go more deep into what do you mean?
We can. I mean, Okay, let's just use the podcast for example. Let's use the podcast. The podcast, of course, it takes time, and it's gonna take time out of our day that otherwise we would have used it for something else, right? Instead of maybe
Mm,
going out on a Tuesday night or on a Sunday morning, you're here doing the podcast, right?
yeah.
Instead of just chilling, taking your break, maybe you're gonna skip your break because you gotta call me about something important, or maybe
Mm,
something happens that you gotta buy, so now you gotta use your break for something else. You can't have it all in terms of either your relationships that some of them may not work because they're taking too much time, or some hobbies that you enjoy, you might have to sacrifice them because they just don't fit in the schedule. So you have to prioritize certain things.
yeah.
So in that sense, right? Like, because even when back, actually, I learned that when I was working at Just Salad. Because when I'm working at Just Salad, I was working from Monday to Saturday, I believe. Monday to Saturday, from like 7 to 1. I was
Mm,
going doing that school, and I was going to the gym. I think that's what I was doing. I
yeah.
remember leaving Just Salad at 1, taking a 1 hour train ride from Just Salad to school, falling asleep on the train, and trying to concentrate while I'm at school for those 4 6 hours,
Mm,
going to the gym after, and then basically crashing because I only have 2 hours, an hour maybe, to
mm,
eat, and then go back to sleep. Right. So
yeah.
school was going downhill because I couldn't freaking
Mm,
concentrate because I was tired all the time. The gym, I was not really putting any effort. I was working out like at 8, whatever. I didn't have no energy. And then work, I guess, was the only thing that was getting all of my energy because it was the first thing I was doing. Right. So I
yeah.
couldn't have it all. I had to pick between, I guess you could say, money, something that I loved, and school. So that happens to you. Have you had to sacrifice anything that you do?
What have I sacrificed lately? I think I've sacrificed the gym a lot. I
Mm,
have.
yeah.
I've sacrificed the gym and my goals for the gym have sacrificed a lot because one, I am in school. I'm in school. That takes up a lot of time. Um, I also have priorities and making sure my I make sure my relationship is happy. I'm having I have a good relationship with my you know beautiful girlfriend.
Let me
Also, I
have
have to
a.
make sure the relationship between me and her family is good as well. Like
Yeah.
me. Sometimes I can be recluse and not want to talk to people
Yeah.
outside. I might not want to go somewhere, right? But I have to make sure that all relationships take effort. And
Yeah.
once you don't put friends, once you don't pursue a relationship, it dwindles. Even if you think it doesn't, right? Like I know this podcast does a lot for mining your relationship as friends because it gives us time to talk back and forth, which we don't do normally anymore, like as much as they used to, right? So it does a lot because even though we're speaking to people, we're genuinely speaking to each other as well. We're talking about
Yeah.
topics that we would have talked about at work, and
Yeah.
that's one of the main things that made this podcast happen in the first place. Is that when we worked at Sweet Greens, everything basically that we'll talk about right now on the podcast, we'll talk about at Sweet Greens.
Yeah.
Hey man, what do you think about this? I'll come up with a question, and then you'd have a non-answer, right? And I'm like, well, what do you think about this? And then you're like, I never really thought about that. And then maybe the next day or next time we work together, like, hey man, I thought about that a little bit, and I think this, right? And it's like, what made you think that? And we'll just go back and forth with that, and then that's why it was so natural for us to just make a podcast in the first place, right? Um, but being burned, yeah, definitely the gym. My gym schedule has gone down a lot, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out a schedule for one. I should be done with school somewhere next month. I should be done with school. So my gym schedule will shoot right back up. Right, I can prioritize it at that point in
Yeah.
time. Again, I'm getting ample hours back, about 4 hours per class. Right, so it's like I'm getting ample hours back to put focus and energy into that thing because um I do want to I find it often I'm obsessed with bettering myself, and it can come to my detriment because sometimes I'm hard on people around me because they're not living up to their level, or I might have to. Let's go with example with you. I've probably been on you the last 2-3 days about doing certain things for the podcast, which I did say, which I did promise I wasn't gonna do in the beginning of the year. So fair, there was fair warning, but I look at it as an extension of me. That if these things don't get done, then I'm also failing, right? And I'm not doing what I need to do to guarantee a promise I make towards me and you to make sure this podcast can be as great as it can be and grow as much as it can be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do view that as an extension of myself.
You just kick your girl out and make that time for the gym, bro. Does your wonders. She can't hear you? She can't hear me?
No, she can't hear you.
God damn it. She can listen.
Yeah, she listens to the podcast.
Whatever. So what was the other topic? You had another one.
Oh no, I think that was about it. I mean, let's cut it off and let's say the most important thing. I didn't think I really heard about you. What is the most important thing you think you learned while pursuing something?
Something. I mean, can it be multiple things? I don't think it's just one thing.
Well, just pick. I mean, sure, you can give me like 2 or 3 things, but I think I kind of wanted to focus in on the one most important thing. Like for me, my answer was the number one thing I learned. I want to say lesson, kind of, but I can't think of the right way to phrase the lesson. But the number one thing I learned while pursuing anything was I realized who I was as a person, and I realized more of who other people were.
I'll say that sacrifices will have to be made, even though if you don't want to make them. So it's either
you can't have it all.
You can't. Yeah, basically, you can't have it all.
That's actually a good lesson to learn.
Yeah, because you basically gonna burn yourself trying to break your back essentially. I mean, everything is gonna lack eventually, right? Like if I'm trying to have it all, then I'm not gonna have nothing, essentially.
Ambition, man.
Isn't there a saying about that? What is it? Master of none. Something like good at everything equals a master of none.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm getting
something like that. No. I know what you're talking about. It's like jack of all trades. Something about jack of all trades and master of none. But a master is master of one. Something like that.
Yeah.
Some like Chinese kung fu fortune cookie kind of saying.
It works. There you go. You can't have
it. Does work. It does work, yeah. And it goes back to lessons. Lessons sometimes might be more important than facts. Lessons sometimes might be more important than facts.
He's still taking shots at you, Javon. If you're listening, he's still taking shots at you.
Bro, because I don't understand, man. For a guy that lives the way he lives and looks at and believes in what he believes in, that was my slam dunk on him.
I forgot to ask him about the whole bunker thing. He has a bunker. Doesn't he have a bunker?
I think he wants a bunker. I think he wants to make like a little bunker. But he's gonna die. He moved to fucking Maryland. What the fuck is Maryland gonna do for him? What, trees? He's gonna burn that shit down.
Maybe he's gonna come
to Texas where all the bullets are at.
But isn't there gonna be an invasion in Texas?
Listen, man. I want you to realize we're talking about Javon, right? He thought the safe place to move was like two states away from where he's at now.
I mean,
I'm sort of think that guy had the good ideas. Get the fuck out of here. Obviously, he like. Obviously, do you think you're more smarter than the generation before you? I laughed. He thought he had made the back roads. Oh, right, Sam. Don't you think I'm right? I'm like, you know how to tie a fucking tie? Oh no, exactly, fucking moron. It's like it's different shit. It's different shit.
Yo, he about to call him like, yo.
He thought he had me on the back ropes, but I'm fucking Mike Tyson, bro.
Yo, he about to call you and be like, yo, next podcast, 2:00.
Next podcast. Podcast.
He's gonna make time for you, bro. He's a brother. Black power.
He ain't gonna make no time.
Okay.
He's not gonna make no time. Listen, man. He's a good podcast guest. That's because of how funny his fucking ideas are.
Jesus Christ. I'm not Against you, Javon. Black Power. I'm for you.
Oh my God. I think that's been a good episode of Lidat podcast. This will be live Friday. Today is Tuesday. Okay, I think we had a great conversation. Please subscribe. Check out our other older content. Please check out some of our newer content that comes out after this video. I'll also be recording Lidat News. It'll hopefully be live on Wednesday. So it'll be live 2 days before this podcast comes out. Thank you guys for listening. Jose will get us on Spotify again. Hopefully. If you guys want us on Spotify and other audio sources, just bother him. What's his Instagram name?
What's his Instagram name? I'm gonna change that shit. I'm gonna change it.
Oh man. Yeah, but bother him. Trust me. You want the audio somewhere else. Maybe you don't have time to look at a video. Maybe you don't have time. Bother him. In the fucking comments. Like this fucking video. This video was fucking great. This was a great podcast. Thank you guys for being great. This has been the Lidat Podcast. I'll catch you guys later.
Stay tremendous.